Before every soldier marches into war, there is something more powerful than weapons: the thoughts they leave behind. Not written for history, not written for medals, but for the people they love. Mothers, siblings, friends, teachers, comrades, even themselves. These are not just words on paper. They are confessions, last whispers, fragments of hope, and sometimes, final goodbyes. And once you hear them, you will never look at war the same way again. Dear Mother, do you remember the nights you stayed awake, waiting for me to come home from school? Now you wait again, but this time the distance is greater. Out here, hands do not cradle, they carry rifles. They are covered in dust, sweat, and sometimes blood. I long for the day I can once again feel your hands on my face telling me I am safe. But if fate does not allow it, remember this: your son did not fight for medals or parades. He fought for the hope that one day no child would have to leave his mother behind to walk into fire. Keep my room as it was, Mother. One day I will return, even if only in your memories. Dear Father, I never told you enough how much I followed your shadow. Out here, in the mud and the fire, I still hear your voice. The lessons you carved into me: to stand tall, to protect, to endure. They are the only armor stronger than steel. I remember your hands, rough with work, steady with resolve. You taught me that a man's worth is not in what he takes, but in what he gives. And now every step I take feels like I am carrying your name forward, one heartbeat at a time. If I do not return, Father, let this letter reach you as proof that your son did not forget what you built in him, that even in the darkest nights I tried to be the man you raised me to be. To my brothers and sisters, you are too young to understand why I left, and maybe by the time you are old enough, you will already be living in the peace I fight for. Do you remember when I used to chase you around the yard or help with your homework? I miss those simple days more than I can put into words. Don't let my absence turn into bitterness. Don't grow up too quickly. Keep laughing, keep dreaming, and keep fighting for your futures, but not with weapons, with kindness. If I don't return, let my memory be not of uniforms and war stories, but of an older sibling who loved you more than life itself. Carry me not in grief, but in the courage to live the life I couldn't finish. Dear friend, do you remember our childhood games? We built castles in the dirt, and I always pretended to be the soldier. You laughed, saying I was too serious even back then. Now, I wonder if it was not a game at all, but a rehearsal for this life. I wish I could walk with you again, down the streets of our town, not caring about time, not worrying about tomorrow. Out here, tomorrow is uncertain. Sometimes I imagine us talking again about the same silly dreams we once had. You wanted adventure, I wanted to fly. Strange, isn't it? We both found what we wanted, but not in the way we imagined. If this letter ever reaches you, know this: in the darkest nights, I still hear your voice reminding me that life is more than war. And maybe when all this is over, we can sit again, not as soldier and civilian, but as two boys who grew up and survived. Dear teacher, do you remember the boy in the back row, always doodling airplanes instead of solving equations? That boy became a soldier. Sometimes I wish he had stayed your student instead. You taught me knowledge could change the world. Out here, I see how right you were. But it wasn't knowledge that built these trenches. It was anger. Not learning that filled the air with smoke, but fear. You told me to always raise my hand, to never be afraid of truth. I raise it now, but not for answers. I raise it to signal comrades in the dark, to call for help, to surrender, to fight. If I return, I will sit in a classroom again, not as a boy, not as a soldier, but as a man who still believes in learning. Because unlearned hatred is the deadliest subject of all. Dear companion, we shared boots, bread, and fire. We walked the same mud, carried the same weight, and sang the same songs under a broken sky. Some of you now rest beneath the very earth we once marched across. I still hear your laughter in the wind, see your shadows in the smoke, feel your presence at my back when I walk into the unknown. You are not gone, you march with me still. Every breath I take is carried by your memory. Every step I take is for the ones who can no longer walk. When I write this letter, I know I write to the dead, but in truth I am writing to the living too, for as long as one of us remains, none of us is truly gone. And finally, to myself, dear stranger, for that is what you feel like now. If you survive this, you will not return the same. The boy is gone. The soldier may remain, but inside you, hidden somewhere, there is still a spark. Protect it. It is the part of you that laughs, that loves, that dreams. When you feel broken, remember the child who once dreamed of tomorrow, not of surviving today. He is still inside you, waiting for release. Build, don't destroy. Love, don't hate. And if the world asks what you learned from war, tell them this: that peace is worth more than any flag, any border, any victory. Sincerely, the boy who went to war. These letters may never find their way home. Some may remain unread, some may be lost to time. But if you've listened this far, then they have reached somewhere. They live on, in you. And perhaps that is all a soldier ever hoped for, not to be remembered as a fighter of wars, but as a voice that still speaks, long after the guns fall silent, because wars end on battlefields. But the echoes of a soldier's words, they never end.